Hola gente, ¿cómo les va a todos? Yo espero que bien y con algo más de calor como yo. Me presento acá, mi Samber, una vez más para comenzar esta entrevista para Pony Latino, a quien en este momento se encuentra acá, Cosplayer y otras dedicaciones, aunque también tiene algo de inclinación por el fandom brony, llamada Seraselkie. So, Miss, if you want, introduce yourself and make a better presentation than me, please.
Sure. I go by Seraselkie. I've been cosplaying for almost 10 years. I've been cosplaying My Little Pony for almost 10 years. I haven't been making too much content the past couple of years. I've been doing some other projects, but I've done a lot of characters like Pinkie Pie, Rarity, that's in the picture, Princess Luna, and I like a lot of pink, blue, and purple characters. It seems to be my trend. So I think I made between 30 and 40 My Little Pony characters. I am a cosmetologist and makeup artist and wig stylist. I do a little bit of everything: painting, sewing, drawing, everything. And I'm excited to be here. It's been a while since I've done an interview, so I'm excited to do something different and answer everyone's questions. And if if anybody has questions pertaining to cosplay and crafting things, I'm happy to offer advice and some education for anyone who would like to learn more about the hobby.
Wow, interesting. Well, probably after I make the list of questions, there were people interested in know about all of that. Cool, cool. Okay, so let's begin. First of all, uh, what is your opinion about the main series of the Generation 4 of My Little Pony?
Of the original, or I
Uh,
guess not really the original, maybe like G4, Generation 4.
yeah, like I said, Generation 4, sorry.
Yes, no worries. So I really do enjoy a lot. I was really sad because when the ending happened, I was getting ready for a lot of different things in my personal life, so I didn't feel like I got to properly enjoy the ending. But I'm very thankful. It was something that I feel like came to me in my life in a very perfect time, an area of like growth and learning and trying to explore myself, and it kind of gave me a how do I explain it? More fuel to the fire of my creative energy and gave me a reason to want to really craft and create. And that's actually how I got into cosplaying is from watching the show, and then it has branched off from there. And it's been very therapeutic. I love the music, the colors, the animation. I love how diverse the characters are and their personalities and how it shows people can, make a great team even though there are people with different personalities and interests. I think it's a very mature show, despite what it looks like at face value, and I think that's something very important. Yeah, because I mean, there's nothing wrong with adults liking cartoons. I almost exclusively watch cartoons, so and My Little Pony is wonderful. So yeah, it's been a very, for the most part, I'd say the show itself was a more positive influence in my life. Yeah.
Okay, right. And what is your opinion about Equestria Girls?
Equestria Girls. I loved Equestria Girls. I haven't finished. I think the last one I watched was Forgotten Friendship. I have not seen anything after Forgotten Friendship that has been released since then. Partially because I want to have some of the My Little Pony universe not completely finished for myself yet. I haven't really like felt like what I was saying earlier. I didn't really get to enjoy the ending of the show, the cartoon show, with their ponies. So I want to leave the Equestria Girl side of things open a little bit more until I feel like I'm ready to finish it myself. I just haven't gotten to that point. But I loved Equestria Girls. I know so many people hated it, and that made me so sad. Most of my friends don't care for it too much. I think it's very, very cute. I'm glad they did with it what they did. Um, and I think it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I also need to watch a lot of the shorts. I have only seen like maybe 5 or 6 of them, so gosh, there's a lot more to look into, I guess.
Okay, interesting. And what about the Generation 5. Do you like the movie? Like, do you like the excuse me, make your mark special and the Tell Your Tale series? And do you believe the future content will be at least
So
like you want?
I've only seen the Netflix movie for Generation 5. I haven't seen anything else yet. I did think that the Generation 5 movie was very cute. I really like Izzy's character. And I mean, I like all the characters. I didn't really care for I can't remember his name, the red guy. I thought he was really annoying, and I still feel that way. But I like the rest of the characters, and I'm very excited to see how they tie everything together and how they explain the timeline between Twilight's, reign in Equestria and then with Sunny. I'm really excited to know what happened in the meantime between both of them and how things became disharmonious again. Like, because there's so much harmony with Twilight around. So, what happened for things to be chaos? Why is everyone segregated again? That's not how it's supposed to be. I think it's really cool as well to see them adding in technology, having phones and whatever crazy. It's been a while since I watched the movie, but that had more like old fashioned things in the original series. That I say original, but I mean G4. So seeing that there's more like modern day technology that we as humans use in the pony world now with Sunny and her friends, I think that's cool. So it was very cute. I dance to the music all the time. I have Amazon's little music playing device called Alexa, and she's always playing. She plays everything, but I do play a lot of the soundtracks from My Little Pony whenever I'm doing chores. So it's very cute.
Oh, right. Well, something I can get. Sorry, is how can you hate Sprout, the main villain of the
What
movie?
was your
No, no, just talking about why don't you like don't you like Sprout, the red pony, the
oh?
main villain?
So I haven't seen anything beyond the movie. I just found his character very creepy. I think his relationship with his mom is very gross and very odd. And he has a lot of mental problems. I think. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with him. I don't know how they will redeem his character. He was just very uncomfortable to me, and he's a bully and just gross. I just wasn't really a huge fan. A lot of people like him. I don't know why. I don't. I have no emotional attachment to him. He's just there. Hitch, on the other hand, he's cute. So, mm.
Okay. Thank for that answer for your answer. Uh, it's something that not everyone can be aside, but we can accept. um, well, uh, following the questionnaire, uh, let's talk about your work. Please, Master, describe or tell us if you want to resume about what you do. Not necessary for the fandom brony.
Just like why do I like to cosplay?
Yeah, that too.
Um, so I hmm. Are you also asking like why I cosplay for My Little Pony? I was trying to understand the question.
Um, at least what you make cosplay in general, not only for My Little Pony.
Oh, okay. So just other stuff that I do. Okay. Well, I do a lot of Disney stuff. Sometimes I make my own characters or my own designs. I have a couple things I'm working on. It's just been a slow process the past couple of years because I've had a lot of stuff I've been going through personally. It's kind of been affecting my momentum in terms of the amount of work I can make. But I do a lot of cartoons. What else? I have a lot of stuff I want to do from Genshin Impact that'll be coming probably towards the new year. After the new year is more what I mean. And I have a lot of bits and pieces to make other things, and I mean I have a lot of stuff that I've made this year. I just haven't been on social media too much, but I've made like 5 or 6 costumes. But I mean I just kind of make a little bit of everything. I do events for kids from time to time, so I make little projects for that too. So I make it for myself. I make them, because like the different fandoms I'm in, and I also make them for kids. So it's a lot of fun. But I guess like my like other big project thing I'm doing is like a couple more costumes from Genshin Impact. I just recently debuted my Zhongling costume, and I love her to death. Her character is really cute. And there's a couple other characters I want to do. Try to think what else I've done. I don't know. I have a lot of like again, I was saying like original designs. I have a couple more I would like to make within this upcoming year. Hopefully I'll have a little bit more time to do that. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay, understandable. Let's let's talk let's talk about the instrumental. What kind of materials of materials or well anything? What do you use to make those beautiful costumes?
I use a little bit of everything. I'm not great at making props. So people that make big like weapons, like swords and knives and stuff, that's an area where I don't have a lot of skill in yet, and we'll explore that. I prefer making more elaborate stuff, so stuff with a lot of detail. Like I like making big ball gowns or things with like a lot of decor, a lot of gems. I like to make things sparkle. So I like to put a lot of crystals, rhinestones on my things. I love a lot of lace or embroidery, a lot of texture. So instead of it just being like there's this material called broadcloth. It's a very flat material. It's very basic cotton material. And for me, that's just not fun. I'd rather add something with lace in it or what's called like brocade or embroidery, lace, anything just to give it something more interesting to look at. Like visually, it's just a lot more pretty. So I've been trying to expand upon that. I haven't posted pictures. I have it kind of teasing in my little icon here, but I recently made a new Ariel costume, and so I was really excited to add a lot of dimension to her seashell bra and put flowers and stuff. I just like to embellish things. I really like to decorate my costumes like they're a cake, like a nice cake, and just put a whole bunch of stuff on it. I guess my favorite. I do enjoy like making things sparkly and probably the lace the most. I just think that adds a level of elegance that um I don't know. It's just the right touch to me. I have a problem. I joke that I have a too much gene, and that basically means people like me, we go very extra with the way that we like to decorate things. So I don't know. I don't know how to turn that off. I don't think I can.
Oh, okay, got it. The other thing, the fact that you like to make sparky costumes like uh, I can know about the for example the Genshin Impact uh, character that use they like to make those characters a little sparky like you said.
Yeah. hmm I I added a little bit. So when I did my Zhongling cosplay, I actually did add like a little bit of. There are these buttons. She has these like how do I like they're called clasps or like little yeah, they're clasps, they're buckles on her costume. She has a jumpsuit romper type of outfit. And I decided to make those sparkly because even though her design doesn't have it, I needed it for me. And that's the thing about cosplay that's fun. You can make it your own. You make it how you want to. You can add your own personality to it. It doesn't have to be directly by the book. And that's how I do it. I'm a crazy person and I cannot be stopped. So,
All right. Um, they continue. Sorry. Um, but if you want, for example, to make, I don't know, um, and an ugly costume made of rags. I don't know.
That's okay. Everyone has their own hobbies. It's all good.
If someone commits to you, pay you to make a costume like that.
Oh, commissions. So I don't make costumes. I'm very self conscious about making stuff. I like making costumes for other people because I don't feel like I'm a professional seamstress, but I feel like I'm a relatively professional wig stylist. So I do wig commissions. I'm actually finishing up a Pinkie Pie one currently. I do wigs more. I feel a little bit more confident in that skill, but I still could do like smaller costume pieces if it's like a skirt or something. I don't know. I don't know how I would price something like that because I don't feel like my stuff is completely professional. Also, like even though I spend a lot of time on my costumes, sometimes I feel like I run out of time. So my craftsmanship isn't always how I want it to be because I rush to finish before the con that I go to. So I don't know. It's something I might be interested in. It just depends, but I'm more comfortable doing wigs than the costumes.
Oh, interesting. Got it. Well, what or who made you the inspiration to make the costume?
I'm trying to think. When I was in 10th grade or 11th grade, one of my friends was talking about cosplaying and was talking about Dragon Con, which is a convention here in the United States in Atlanta, Georgia. Um, Atlanta is a very big city, and Dragon Con is very, very big. It's about 3.5 hours away from where I live. I've never been. I didn't. I still have not been for some reason. One day I will, very soon, I hope. Um, but she was like talking about it, and so my friends and I started to experiment in cosplaying. Ooh, actually, it took me a little while, I guess. Yeah, I kind of like knew about it, but I didn't actually start cosplaying until my senior year, or when I was in 12th grade. The year before I started college, I was finishing high school. Um, and that's the first time I cosplayed Pinkie Pie. I decided to go with her because I was really into the show. Like that's kind of when the show was starting to pick up. Like the show came out for me, uh, or I'm trying to think. No, I think the show came out when I was in 10th grade, but I started watching the show my junior year of high school, like just before junior year. So just before 11th grade is when I started to watch the show, and that was just before season 2 came out. So I started watching the show between season 1 and season 2. And then I went overseas to Lebanon to visit family. And all of my friends, the three of them, they from school, they went to this convention while I was overseas, and I was like, "Oh my god, you went to a con without me!" And I was like, "No way!" I was excited, but I was mad because I wanted to go with them. So I was like, "Okay, the next one that comes, I'm gonna go with you guys, and we're gonna have so much fun." So we went that October when I got back from my trip and school started, and it's just been downhill since there. And I've just been doing it ever since. So it's been the first, I think it was like what, October, I think it was October 12th, I think was the first time I like went to a convention. I don't know why I remember the date. I just remember dates very easily. But it was in 2012. Yeah. So that's my 10-year anniversary. It's kind of weird, kind of cool. I feel very old. So, yeah.
Okay, that's an epic story. Anyone who have that kind of story can follow his their dreams. So yeah, that's a very good reason to do make that cosplay. uh, but okay, okay. Let's go. Um, what kind of things do you consider difficult or or make you doubt or make cosplay? Sorry.
So Trying to think. I hate hand sewing. I can do it, but no matter how hard I try, it's never neat enough to my standard. I'm very hard on myself when I make stuff, and the tiniest things I will notice that's wrong. I'm just a crazy person. I'm like the most stressful person to cosplay with because I'm like everything has to look just right. Everything has to be perfect. I can't have a single hair out of place, you know? And for me with hand sewing, it's so messy and it's so hard for me to keep my lines straight. So I try so hard to avoid it if I can. Like I would rather hot glue something than hand sew it. Hand sewing is more helpful because hot glue can fade away, but knock on wood, I am a force to be reckoned with when I use my hot glue gun. I'm very good at it. So if it's something that involves hand sewing, I just don't want to do it. I usually hot glue and then I'll do a very small amounts of hand sewing around it and hope for the best because I hate it so much. It takes so much time. I would rather use my machine if I can help it. Try to think what else I don't like. Uh, hmm. I don't know. That's the biggest thing. I don't know. I mean, hand sewing is fun because you could put beading and stuff, but when you actually have to do stitching on top that's visible, that makes me nervous. Ugh.
Okay, understandable and curious. And well, let's go. If you have the resources to make a project, big resources, I mean money, people, and time. What do you want to do?
Are you asking if I had the opportunity to make money with my cosplay, what I would do?
I don't know. The big project. If you want, don't didn't have to be about cosplay.
Do you mean kind of my career, what I want to do for a living? I'm trying to understand the question. I know it's kind of hard to translate, so take your time. It's totally okay. I'm just trying to understand the question.
Don't worry. For me, the problem is not translate. It's pronunciate. um, okay. If you have the money, the people, or the and any time to make a big project, what do you want to do?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I always talk about this one. Anyone who's been following me, I think that I started to really be all over the place on the internet around 2015. So if you've been anywhere following me within the last 7 years where I've just been all over the place, you've seen me talk about Akuma Homura from Puella Magi, Madoka Magica, Rebellion Story. Rebellion Story is this movie. I don't know if it's considered a spinoff. It's the same characters, kind of different plot line. But I've been wanting to make this costume. It's called Akuma Homura, or you could type in Devil Homura. Her dress is everything. And my friend and I've been waiting for this opportunity to do it with my friend as Godoka. They're two characters that go together. And we actually were just talking about it a couple of days ago about how we want to design our outfits. I don't know if it'll be for KatsuCon or MomoCon or what con, but it's finally going to happen. I'm trying to think. Yeah, the movie came out in 2013. And I've been dying to cosplay. It's been 9 years, and I still have not done it. And that is my big project. That's been my dream project for basically as long as I have been cosplaying. And if I had all the money, all the resources in the world, I would make that thing the most beautiful constructed thing ever. And my friend and I are trying not to put a deadline on it. That way we can put as much love and craftsmanship into it as possible and kind of chip away at it slowly. And that's the best way to go about it. I really want to slowly build it. I don't want to rush it because a lot of my costumes I worked so hard on for months, but I rushed because the deadline's so close and I feel like I don't put the quality in fully as I really had hoped. But for this project, I want to really, really make sure everything looks exactly how I want it to. It's going to have feathers and be sparkly and flowers and lights, and it's just going to be very big and crazy, hopefully, but it's gonna be very expensive, which is one of the main reasons why I haven't done it. But that's just like when I make this costume, I will be happy and I will feel like that is the pinnacle of my cosplay hobby. But one day I'll get there. I just haven't gotten there quite yet. I've been getting little bits and pieces. Um, and so I have some stuff, but it needs a lot more, a lot of feathers. It needs a lot of feathers. So
Okay, got it. Um, well, this is mostly a personal question from me. Um,
sure.
uh, why do you choose Madoka Magica Magic? Sorry.
Madoka Magica. Yeah. So it's an anime. It's a very special anime to me. I love the characters. I really relate to the character Homura so much. It's more so in a spiritual sense, so it's a little bit more like personal. It's kind of complicated to explain, but I relate to her struggles with uh I don't want to give like spoilers. Just her cynicism towards things and feeling like I'm the only person that knows all this information and no one believes me. And what am I supposed to do with this? This is just like too much to bear. Like she's just carrying so much suffering and so much hurt, but so much love at the same time. And she keeps doing what she's doing to protect the ones that she loves and cares for. And I think that I like it's kind of, I like psychological stuff. I like stuff that makes you think and makes you cry. And I like the fact that it makes you think, what would you give up your life for? What would you, I don't want to say sell your soul because I'm not about that, but like what would you trade your life or your soul for? Like what is so important to you that you would give up anything? You would give up your humanity for. It's not just, oh, there's these little magical girls running around. Like it's really dark and depressing, but it really makes you think and makes you like wonder like would I trade my life for these powers? Like would I really be getting what I wished for? Would I really be getting my end of the bargain? So it's really like this demented kind of show. I don't know how to explain it, but everything about it. I just love how my brain just spins around in circles trying to really grasp what life is like for these characters and the vastness of their universe and like the different timelines in their universe. And I love the music so much. But as a spiritual person, it is something that resonates a lot with me and has a lot of significance. I've never watched a show or read a book or anything where I really like found a character to express that part of my own self and my own heart before. It's very important to me, and I love everything that Homura represents. She's not perfect, but she's perfect to me. So I love her character very much, and I appreciate what she has given to me in my life and the amount of representation and comfort. She's a huge comfort character for me.
Got it. Answer. I asked about that because I barely knew about the series about magical girls. Just I don't know Sakura, Card or Mikami. So Madoka Magica is a recommendable series, right?
I would say so. It's not. If you're a very sensitive person, maybe don't watch it. It's very short, so it's only 12 episodes for the first, like the original version. Then the movie is an hour and a half long, and then they have a like spin-off series. It's based off of the video game that they had on the phone. It's a mobile video game. And they made an anime off of it very recently within like the last 3 years, and that has 2 or 3 seasons. I just recently watched it. I kind of avoided it for a while because I was nervous, but I loved it, and I was very happy to see more of the magical girl universe because in the first show, the original, it doesn't. You don't really. You hear, oh, there's so many magical girls. So many of us go through the same thing, but you don't see anyone except for the same 5 characters. So it was cool to see so many new magical girls and their struggles and hearing their stories and their traumas and why they became a magical girl. It was just it like expanded on the universe, and I loved it, and they brought back the original characters, and I cried a lot. It was great.
Okay, got it. Thanks for your advice. Well,
Sure.
let's go with the question. Uh, Tell me, what is your opinion about the fandom brony in general? If you can say any difference about the, the English speaking fandom and I don't, for example, the Latin American or the Asian fandom, brony. Sorry.
No worries. I mean, I haven't really. I met a couple international people, but not too many. I mean, I myself, so like my family, we're Lebanese. So my family, they have accents and stuff like that. So I'm used to things like that. My parents, they were from a different country, so um but I haven't really talked to too many people from Latin America. I think I've had a couple followers from overseas come and meet me at different panels and different events that I've done at some conventions and stuff, but that's really it. But no, I mean, I think it's so great that this show has reached a wide amount of people internationally. I think it's really cool that it is something we can celebrate on a global scale. I think it's cool that, I don't know how to say this correctly, but like, people, oh, you're a boy, you shouldn't like ponies. Oh, you're a grown woman, you shouldn't like ponies. But I like that different cultures with maybe more traditional values, less traditional values, they can all have this and celebrate this and enjoy it together. And whether you're, talking about it out loud or keeping it private, I still think it's cool that we can have this show to unite us and bring us together. I think that's such a wonderful, wonderful thing. And the fact that it's carried on this long internationally as well, it's a phenomena. And whether or not, maybe the mainstream eye knows it or not, it's a big deal. I think it's really cool. So I think it's great. It's flattering. I don't know. It's weird to me to think that American media has such a big influence, but it does. Like my family overseas, they know about celebrities from the USA and music and stuff. So it makes sense that they know about our cartoons. I mean, we watch anime sometimes. Anime is Japanese, and there's some French cartoons or Russian cartoons people like. So it's cool to share bits of art from different countries like with one another. I think it's very neat.
Right? That's a good point. People sharing that he is drawing, for example, and making and sharing he, their talent to the world. At, at least not in a
Sure.
professional way, but try to impress the world. uh,
Hmm.
well, now just talking about the English speaking the fandom. Do you consider the brony fandom generous if someone, for example, goes to a Facebook group and asks for help or an advice? They will give to him or her.
Yes, of course. Um, well, are you talking about just regular like friend advice, or do you mean like costume advice, or what kind of advice are you asking?
Um, any advice in general, but if you have a different vision about the about talking about costume and advice, and that can be I can I can hear that at you because for example I have a friend who wants to know about cosplay.
Yes. Well, if anybody, they can always message me on my social media. For me, I'm not the best at answering messages just because I sometimes, if I answer some messages, they people will continue to send constant messages, and it gets very stressful. But if it's something where you're trying to learn certain things about costuming or making wigs, I'm happy to answer questions like those all the time. I always do, and I'm always happy to. Um, like you could message me on Instagram or on Twitter. Twitter might be easier because usually Instagram is the ones that I ignore because I get a lot of spam. It's just very overwhelming to deal with all the spam messages. But Twitter, I don't get spam messages, so I be a little bit more responsive on there. But I'm always happy to help. And there is like My Little Pony cosplayers Facebook group. So if anyone has questions on Facebook, they can ask there. I think Facebook helps to translate too. So if it's in different languages, it should be able to be translated through Facebook anyway. And then I'm trying to think what else. I don't know, that's like in terms of me. I mean, but you could always like look in different groups there, or I think on Reddit. I think I don't use Reddit really, but some people they discuss costume related things on there. Also, just I mean, even just googling how to make something on Google, they have nowadays they have so many more resources on how to make things. Like there's an answer for everything now, which is great because even though I'm still a fairly recent cosplayer, 10 years ago when I started, there were not nearly as many resources as there are today. It's just so crazy to see how cosplay has expanded and evolved over time. But it's been great. It's a lot easier now. So people starting out will have a much easier time, and that's cool.
Wow. Um, that surprised
I
me.
talk a lot.
Sorry.
No, I said I talk a lot.
Um, don't worry. I let people talk what they want. I hear all of that. Don't worry. um, well, interesting. The last thing you said about the you don't have the enough resources at least some time ago.
Right. It's cool to see how it has grown. It's
uh,
more common now. It's not as weird. Well, it is weird, but not as weird.
no, I got it. Because Latin America their resources are even more limited. But
Right. Of course. And have international shipping must be so difficult. I can't imagine.
yeah, of course. About the money. Well, what about that thing? Another personal question. What changed that thing? The what made you have more resources to make your costume and outfit?
I think just over time, there were more tutorials. So if anyone was willing to learn something, now that like I would say around 2012 is when I started. So and then that's what I feel like a lot of people were really understanding, wow, cosplay is really cool. In like 2015, I think, more and more people were jumping on it. And so more people who were they say cosplay veterans, so who've been cosplaying since like I don't know, the 2000s, maybe before then, they educate like and some people have turned it into a profession. So they have books now for how to make armor or how to sew certain techniques or tutorials on how to sculpt like a Rapunzel wig, for example, or like an Avatar the Last Airbender type of wig or something. There's so many different um specifics that you can look up that now that there's more people cosplaying, there's more people who want to teach others how to do it. It's kind of like a baker, someone who bakes cakes or cupcakes, they make a recipe. And once they perfect the recipe, they want to share it with the world so other people can make that recipe. So, um, it's kind of the same principle, There's always going to be educators and people willing to share their talents with others so they can also make stuff themselves. So I do it on a much smaller scale, but I like being able to contribute and help people express themselves in a creative way. So
Wow, that's great to know. Thanks. Um,
mhm.
well, go. What community in what community in if you, at least not in fandom brony, let's call it like um la several Discord or group of Facebook, like I said, or a forum. Do you they are more united?
What was your question? I'm sorry, I'm trying to understand.
Sorry.
It's
What
okay.
what?
You're doing great.
Thank you. What community and what online community? Sorry. Let's like uh, a server in Discord or a group of Facebook or a forum, for example. You are more united.
Oh, okay. So I don't use my Discord too much, but if people like having a Discord server, I could start one, I guess. I think I did one a little while for my patrons on Patreon, but just because I have not been so consistent with my social media or my Patreon, I haven't really been keeping it up. That's something that I do really, really want to get back into once things kind of calm down. But I mean, I have Instagram and I have Twitter, so at least until I were to make a Discord server, I mean, if people would like me to make one, I can, but um, that's just the best way to reach me. And I have my Facebook page as well. I find that a lot of my audience on Facebook just stay on Facebook mostly, but some of them are on my other social medias. And I recognize my followers who are very consistent and post and comment a lot. I recognize the names. But some of my people on Instagram are Instagram only, and some of them on Twitter or Twitter only. So, but if that's something that more people would like, maybe in the future, I don't. I feel like because I haven't been so active, I feel like people have lost a lot of interest in my work, which is fine. I haven't been, making stuff. There's nothing to see really, but um, I feel like I don't know if it's proper for me to make a Discord at this point yet, but maybe someday in the future, once I kind of am a little bit more consistent again.
Um, okay. Well, going. In what country or what state are you? Do you are?
So I'm Lebanese. So my family is from Lebanon in the Middle East. It is the country just above of Israel in the Middle East. It's very small, but it's very pretty. It's a very beautiful country.
Okay, got it. But sorry, sorry for this. You're now in Lebanon, right?
What did you ask?
You're now living in the Lebanon.
No, I live in the United States. Most of my family's overseas. Like my parents, they live here with my siblings and I, but most of my family lives overseas. But I live in the USA. Yeah, I have visited a couple times, but I don't live there.
Okay, got it. Well, in this case, in the state you are. How's the fandom running? I'll at least before the pandemic.
What was your question?
Lori, how's the Bernie fandom in the stage you are?
Oh, okay. We have a couple people. I used to cosplay a lot more with people in my state in the United States, but a lot of them moved on, and we don't really like do those kinds of projects anymore. We don't really like talk so much because everyone's kind of moved on. Um, but there's some people who do every now and again, just not so much anymore. I feel like when the show was very active around 2015, 2016, that's where I really feel like I saw the most. But as like maybe after season 6, season 7, a lot of people kind of got bored with the show. It made me really sad because I was in it from the beginning and I was gonna be in it until it ended. But some people lost interest, so not as many people were doing it. But back in the day, like early, like in 2012, 2013, we had like little meetup groups and stuff, and that was fun. Um, I never went, but some people they would go to like an amusement park or go to the movies or something, and that was always really fun. But unfortunately, the state that I'm in, we're very small and very traditional, very southern, very country like Applejack. So a lot of people they don't have artsy interests, so it's hard to find a lot of people that do the kind of stuff that we do, and I have similar interests. So yeah.
Yay. Thank for your answer. Um, well, uh, what do you what to say to someone who wants to make the same thing like you?
It will seem scary at first. When I first started, I did not know how to sew. I did not know how to do makeup and I did not know how to do wigs. And still to this day, 10 years later, there are so many people who are way more skilled than me, way more talented than me. And that's okay. You just do it for you and you just do it to have fun. I stress myself out over every detail, but I enjoy the process despite my insanity. And I have fun and it feels very rewarding once my project's finished. And that's what matters. And if you can't afford to spend a lot of money on costumes, or if you're struggling to get stuff shipped internationally to your country, I'm sure, I think TikTok, I have TikTok, by the way. I forgot to talk about that. But TikTok, people post like resources of how to find stuff or thrift or modify things on their own if they are international cosplayers. There's plenty of resources even for international people, which is great. It's a good thing. And I mean, I I don't know how other countries do it, but for us here, we have thrift stores. So it's basically like kind of like charity, but not quite. People they donate their old clothes, their old furniture, old toys, and then their prices are very cheap, so it's easy to purchase. And a lot of people who, well, no, it doesn't have to be poor people, but a lot of more low income families, they purchase stuff from places like those, or they get it like secondhand. And you can get a lot of clothes that way. I cannot tell you how many costumes I've made out of stuff that I've gotten from thrift stores that were pre-owned and they were discounted, so it's cheaper, easier, and then I modified it. I could tell you a whole bunch of different stuff. My Princess Luna costume, the new one I made, the bodice I made for the ball gown, it's this beautiful black velvet with like blue flowers. That was a dress that I got at Goodwill, which is a thrift store. It was a hand-me-down dress. That dress was like $6, and I turned it into my corset. Or my entire Starlight Glimmer costume from Equestria Girls, except for the shoes. They're all the shirts, the vest, the watch, pants, and the hat were all things that I purchased at a thrift store. So I got everything like under $30. And then I just painted the hat and put the stars on it and painted the watch. But I got all of that from the thrift store. My Legend of Everfree Pinkie Pie shoes and shorts and belt, I got those from the thrift store and I modified it. So that's something, if you have a store like that, you can easily modify clothes. And that's probably, I'm talking a lot, sorry, but that's something that you can do too, especially as a beginner. Take old clothes and modify them into new costumes just to kind of get the hand of it, get hands on, and to learn the skill and to practice, because that's the best thing that you can do. Or you can just buy the stuff. They have so many websites that do ship internationally. I buy costumes from like China, from Malaysia, Japan. I've done it before all the time. So, and even Canada and like the United Kingdom, I purchase costumes from. And also, one last thing, if you go into like cosplay for sale groups, people sell their costumes all the time, and some will sell internationally. I've gotten like, what's one of them? It ended up being too small, and I was very sad. But I bought a Princess Jasmine costume like 2 years ago, and I got that one from the United Kingdom, and that was cool. So people can sell their costumes that way, so you can get your hands on the materials that way too. Thank you. Sorry, that was so long. A lot of information.
Don't worry. Uh, Probably it's a lot of information, but put it in necessary amount for someone that probably they need to make the same kind of work like you. So, well, thank you for your advice. Anyway,
Absolutely. I hope that was helpful.
probably. Well, before we continue, I will make a little message in Spanish. A ver.
Sure.
A ver, para toda la gente que nos está oyendo, por favor, manden preguntas ahora mismo, por favor, para que, bueno, la maestra aquí presente la responda. Yo las traduciré, no se preocupen. Okay, I just said I asked for questions because I don't get it. There's not too many people making comments, but so I had to do it. Well, let's continue. Who is your favorite pony?
I get asked this so many times. Pinkie Pie is my favorite. I relate to her the most. I love her and Princess Luna the most, but mostly Pinkie. But I also love Luna too. She's wonderful, truly wonderful.
Okay, cool. uh, well, Seraselkie, why do you have that name?
I actually made a big post about that on my Facebook. I'm actually going to take a peek at it and see if I can shorten my reason based off of the post that I made. But basically, Sarah, I just like how it's kind of a big word. I don't know if there's an easy translation for it. It's very ethereal sounding. It sounds very like a fantasy fairy tale type of name, Sarah, and it sounds like my name. So I picked that to be the first part. And then Selkie is a character, not character, it's a type of mythological creature. So it's similar to the idea of a siren or a mermaid, but it's with the body of a seal from the ocean. And basically, these types of mermaids, they have like seal skin and they shed their seal skin in order to be kind of on the human land. And their seal skin is seen as very valuable. And so whenever their skin is taken from them from men or whatever, they end up having to be stuck like on the surface or be stuck around men. And they kind of live this life of longing. Like I'm longing to find my seal skin again. I want to find my suit. I miss it. It's part of who I am. And so in a way, I guess you can say my seal suits, my seal skin. It sounds very weird. I know. They're kind of like my costumes. My costumes are like my skin that I shed off. They're like shells of who I am as a person and how I want to express myself. And I'm a very big fan of like mermaids, anything under the water, and I like the fact that it sort of is associated with something like that in its mythology, which is really cool. And a lot of art of Selkies that I love, a lot of the girls, not always, but a lot of them tend to have very pale skin and very dark hair, which I also have. So I'm like, they kind of look like me. But it's part of like Celtic lore. So it's cool. I'm trying to see what else I wrote here. But basically, they pay a price for their sacrifice to be on Earth and to explore life above the surface. But it's hard to grow out of that comfort zone when you like shed that part of yourself. It's like it's transformation. So I like that, and I do miss the name Serendipity, but there's just too many people now in the cosplay community who have the same name. And there's another person locally who goes by that name, but for like different stuff. It's just too common. I love the name. I love the pun, but ugh. I also kind of hate that, I've always cosplayed from a whole bunch of different things, but whenever I was Serendipity, they only associated me with ponies, and it was very suffocating. Like, I do a whole bunch of other stuff, and it is a really big love of mine, of course, but I feel like just kind of moving away from that allowed me to branch off into other things, and I think it was a good move for me. Will I change it again? Honestly, maybe. I'm still trying to grow into it, but I'm liking where I'm at with it right now. We'll just see how it goes from there. I don't know.
Wow, a lot of meaning
Yeah.
about the name. Thank you. Um, Well, let let's read the comments. Jejo said he wants a J before September.
What about before September?
Uh, he wants to say J like Fluttershy.
Oh, yay! Do you want me to say yay as Fluttershy?
I think he wants.
Okay. So I'm a little sick, so my I sound like Rainbow Dash right now if I'm being quite honest, but I can try. Let's see. Yay! Oh my goodness. I love to cosplay and talk to so many new people. I guess there's my very terrible Fluttershy impression. Hopefully you get a good laugh.
Uh,
How would you say yay in Spanish as Fluttershy?
uh, uh, if you want to say Viva.
Viva! Viva!
Oh my god,
Hopefully.
that's so cute! Thank
I
you.
tried. Hopefully it didn't sound too terrible.
No, it's not. Don't say that. Okay. That was epic. Oh,
Thank you.
yeah. Well, let's go. Screamer TV. He don't know what we're talking about because he probably don't know English. Well, Andrew Hager says, "Hello, Seraselkie. How are you?"
Hello. I'm doing all right. Just hanging out, living life. The sun is setting, which is cool. I like summertime. I like that the days are longer. But not for much longer because it's going to be fall soon. Oh.
Okay, cool. Well, here there are just a lot of English comment. So, well, go. True Blue says, "Hey Sarah, hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for all you've done for the My Little Pony cosplay community, and thank you for being a true friend. Hopes crossed that we can meet again someday."
Let me just cry real quick. Ooh. Well, thank you.
Oh,
I really miss going, but it's just not in the cards for me right now, as much as I hate to say it, but maybe in the near future. We'll see.
okay. And also says, "I have never lost interest in your work, Sarah. Anything you made, I've always loved seeing."
Well, thank you. Hopefully, I'll have some more stuff soon. I have a lot of stuff I've made the last year. I just haven't felt like confident enough to post it. Instagram has just been so overwhelming. And I mean, my Instagram is tied to my Facebook now. So if I post to Instagram by default, it'll post to my Facebook. But I just I don't know. I just kind of needed to deplug from it. There's too many Kim Kardashians on Instagram, and I just don't like looking at them, and it just makes me not like myself. And I make cool stuff. I know I make cool stuff, and I like what I make, but then I compare myself to other people, and I'm like, I look like I'm wearing a trash bag. Why am I even bothering showing this to the world? So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make stuff for me, and then I'll, my patrons and other people who support me, and then I'll go from there. So I have some other projects I'm working slowly on. I'm trying not to put timelines because I think the timelines were kind of killing it for me. It was hard for me to really. I do enjoy it, but it's always oh, I have to make it by this day, and then I scramble to finish, and I'm not completely pleased, and it wasn't a healthy cycle for me. So
Okay.
but thank you.
Oh, that's what says, happy 10th cosplay anniversary, Sarah.
Thank you so much. It feels weird. I was 17 when I started, and when I was 17 I felt like such a big adult. But now I'm 27 and I'm like, God, I was such a baby. I was so little. Anyone who's under the age of 25, I feel like they're a baby. I feel like they're still wearing a diaper. But when I was like 22, I thought I was so big and so cool, but I was literally so just lame. I don't know. It's weird. Life is weird. Growing up is weird. Growing up in your hobby is even more weird. I still wear wigs for fun. Like what is my life anymore? I don't know.
Wow. You say it. Well, uh, a couple of questions from me again. Um,
Mhm.
well, who's your favorite character you made your outfit or wear or your outfit?
Hmm. I'm so frustrated because this last year I was going to make about two costumes that were going to be like the pinnacle of anything I've ever made. But this year, every single month, I'm like, okay, this is my game plan. I highlight my year before it even starts. I overplan things, but I've just had so much that was just completely out of my control that I didn't get to make those projects as I had perfectly scheduled by the week. Like I'm a crazy person. And it's just been so infuriating because I would be able to say my proudest accomplishment is the one that uh, I still hope to make next year. It's a seasonal costume, so I'll have to wait till next year probably to actually make it. And I hate that because I want to make it now, but it's not relevant. But anyway, um, out of the stuff that I have made, Homura is my favorite. I love her. I love being her. I feel like the thing I like about her is that she allows me to be comfortable with parts of myself that are not as enjoyable for others. I feel like people are like, "Oh, you're so Pinkie Pie, you're so colorful and fun," which I am. That's just my personality. But when it boils down to it, I still have like a darker private side that's more cynical or more stoic or more introverted. And I like that when I'm her, I can, that's kind of why I like about Princess Luna as well. It's very similar. I like that I can be quiet and be subdued and be regal and kind of just do my own thing. And it feels at home in a way that's not exhausting because as much as I feel comfortable being Pinkie Pie, it's very, very exhausting keeping up a personality. I lose my voice a lot when I do cons as Pinkie Pie because her voice is not a voice that I have naturally, and I don't even do it that well. But to try to do it as accurately as I can with the way my voice sounds, it hurts. So I like that. She's a little bit more calm, and she's just a joy for me to wear, and that's why I can't wait to wear like my big sparkly costume, so I can be a character that makes me comfortable, but in a costume that I feels like really exhibits the best of my craftsmanship and what I have to offer. But if not her, I didn't finish it. I want to remake the tail, but I did make an Ariel costume very recently out of materials I already had in my house, which was a really fun challenge for me. It's not exactly at the point where I want it to be, but I'm very proud of how it came out given the fact I made it in literally 2 days, which is insane for me because I take months to make stuff. So, it was a good project and I will eventually share pictures, I guess. I probably need to get more into social media. I haven't worn it and taken all the pictures and all that yet, but we'll see what happens. I don't know. But I enjoy her as well. So those two probably are my favorites. Yeah.
Okay, thank. Just to clarify, do do you like to go to events, right?
I do. Yes. I haven't been able to financially support going to events, and it's always really really wonderful when cons like help me with like the flights or the hotels. That's what they do for a lot of guests. It's something very helpful because for me, a lot of the active pony conventions here are on the opposite side of the United States from where I live, and that's like over 2,000 miles. It's very far. So I have to fly, and it's expensive, and I haven't been able to make that work, and I'm disabled, so I have a lot of health issues, and with all my medical bills and maintaining a new house and my jobs and stuff, it's been very hard. And I get very they call it FOMO, which is the fear of missing out, FOMO, and that's something I feel whenever I see people post about cons because I wish I could keep going. But I feel like having a break was very healthy for me because I was doing it so much, it was kind of suffocating, and I kind of forgot to live real life. I also was just dealing with a lot of toxicity from other people in the fandom, and that was hurtful to me. And I think having a break from that and sorting out true relationships from, fake friendships and, finding a good community and kind of separating from some of my followers who were a little inappropriate. I think it was good for me to have a little break from that, I guess. Yeah, it was a little too much. So, but maybe one day. I still hope to go to at least one or two more. I wanted to have one or two more cons and then kind of finish off. But then COVID happened, and I was like, no, like, hold on a second. BronyCon 2019, which was the last BronyCon, was my last pony convention, and it wasn't supposed to. And I'm still kind of like recovering from that because it just, I'm a control freak. I want things on my terms, and having that kind of happened. I was like, no, that wasn't supposed to be my last con, but I just haven't had the resources to continue to another one. So I want to have at least one more that I decide this is my last one. So we'll see what happens. I don't know what the future holds. I'm just a floating jellyfish for the time being. I don't know.
Oh, right. Wow. I didn't know about that about that kind of problems about going to events.
Yeah, it's been hard for me because I really enjoy performing and I enjoy showcasing my work. And I do have at least one or two costumes I want to make, but I think after that, I think I'll be done, which is really sad to say. But I've made like almost 40 costumes from My Little Pony, so I think I've done enough. I've done plenty. So God, I'm a crazy person. I don't know.
Nah,
I think
you
about it.
you don't must say that you're crazy. In the fandom brony, of course. there are a lot of there are a lot of people that are really crazy. Well,
Thank you. I'm glad that people do like them. It's nice getting positive feedback. So I'm like, maybe I'm not doing a terrible job. So that's cool. Yay.
that's cool, right? well, about the brony conventions before 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 again the pandemic. What do you consider that experience? There are a lot of things that can be they can they can be difficult to make. I don't know.
So, um, I'm trying to think. I haven't like struggled with a costume so bad that I couldn't finish. I'll find a way. Even if I have to like use safety pins, I will find a way to make my costumes work. Um, I definitely learned very easily with cosplaying for My Little Pony and doing conventions in general. Uh, I guess not doing more than two characters in one day. I've gotten a lot faster with my makeup. I felt really bad. I felt like I inconvenienced conventions a lot or inconvenienced other people I performed with a lot because I took a lot of time on my makeup because I was still learning how to do makeup, but I've gotten to a point where I'm comfortable with it that I'm a lot faster. And that comes with time. It comes with skill. You just improve over time. So just being in a timely manner is always very difficult and juggling health issues because a lot of the times at cons I get really really sick and it's like I still have a lot of work to do and then I'd like come home and collapse for like a week and just not do anything besides work and scream. So it was always very very hard on me. It was very very physically taxing on me, but I loved it. I loved the process and I loved the feeling of going and that sense of community and self-expression, and I love performing and making people smile. But I don't think there's been too much of a costume challenge, like something I couldn't really solve. But and I've had mostly peaceful interactions. Every now and again, I have an interaction that's very unpleasant, and um, I'd say in recent years there hasn't been anything like too serious, which is good. Things were rough for a little while. Things kind of like died down in that area, which is good. So it's probably because I posted so much about like, don't be stinky in person, please. I am one person. I'm small. Don't be weird. So Yeah, I've been very, very blessed to connect with a lot of different people, meet a lot of new people, and make new stuff, and just be like, yeah, I'm wearing my art because conventions are full of artists, and my art is on my body. It is what I wear. Yay! Yay! Viva!
Thanks again for the question. And thank you again. That that experience. Someone can take it to the next many conventions.
Hmm.
But well, um, we are at the end of our interview. So, any someone to send readings. Something to say about me. I made something wrong. Uh, I I need to ask something else. Uh, Say what you want. It's your moment. It's your interview.
Well, no matter what kind of art you do, keep doing it, keep creating. And if you're someone who started creating and felt a lot of inspiration from My Little Pony, don't let it stop there, and don't think that because the show is over that you can't keep creating, because you totally can. That's something that, I didn't realize how big of an effect it had on me. When the show was over. I've had a lot of things change in my life and transition, and kind of juggling it all has been very like, oh boy, it's been a lot, but that's how life is. Life moves forward, and you grow and change, and you expand, and you get better, and you improve, and that's cool. Um, and if you want to learn cosplaying, like I said before, no one's going to be perfect. No one's going to be super awesome at it overnight. As long as you're having fun, and that's what's most important. And if you want to expand upon your skill, just keep practicing. You will not get better without practice, and that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I have shared pictures, like my before and after pictures of multiple costumes, several times on my social media to show people, because people are like, "Oh, you're so cool. I wish I could be as cool as you." And I'm like, first of all, no, you don't. Secondly, to get to this particular level of skill, you can get there. It's just a work in progress, and I'm sure there's many people who are better than me, and that's okay. Like, it's a hobby. It's for fun. And if anyone has questions, I'm more than happy to answer. You can even tweet at me publicly if you'd like, or comment on stuff on Instagram publicly or on my Facebook. And I can answer questions that way, if not through private message. Or if you see I don't respond that way, because I am very forgetful, you can do that too. Um, and I'm happy to help, because it's very overwhelming now that there are so many resources. There's so many different things to look at, and it's like, wow, there's like 10 different ways to do this. So like, which way do I pick? Which is ultimately up to you, but if I can help narrow the options, I can do that too. Um, it's all fun. So as long as you're having fun, that's good. Keep creating, keep making art, and keep expressing yourself through art. And bro hoof. I don't normally say that, but it's a pony hoof for everyone. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening. I hope that this was informative for you, hopefully inspiring. I talk a lot, but I really had a wonderful time, and I hope that this can help somebody out there who needs a little burst of inspiration. So, thank you so, so much for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's nothing cool. Um, and don't worry if you think about talking too much. It's something that a lot of people here people can do. They want to give advice and talk about their experience. So you
Yeah, as
well,
long as it's helpful.
yeah, of course. So well, um, sorry. Uh,
Okay. Is there any formal message I should say to finish off the interview? Like, do you need something pre-recorded or anything?
Hmm. No, sorry. I have to say they want to. You have to say goodbye, but I don't. Nerve made me forget the English. So well, good luck with the costume, the office, and everything like that. With, I hope that um, I, I hope maybe in a year or two we can we can have again the events and the and the convention that you can show your costumes, your cosplay.
Sure. Have you been to a convention in the United States before?
Sorry?
Have you been to a convention in the United States before?
Oh, of course not. I'm from Chile and
From
the
Chile.
US.
Oh, how cool. That's very cool. Gosh.
Thank
I
you.
haven't traveled internationally too much, but maybe someday I will. Oh, I would love to go to an international convention, but it's hard for me to figure out what to eat because I have a lot of stomach issues. So that's always the big thing. Is like, where am I going to eat if I go anywhere?
Wow, that's something that's only thing to say, but at least here in Chile, there are not any convention anymore. Sorry, or meetup, something like that. Sorry. So
That's
so well, it's time to look a lot from any convention here in Latin America, probably Mexico.
that'd be cool. Yeah.
So
Quite
well,
some travel. Uh,
so well, we get it. Um,
Maybe you can start your own. You never know. I'm sure there's a lot of other people who'd like to start one with you.
okay, that's a good idea. When some people made that before, at least before the pandemic. It was so
No,
painful.
don't let you. It's a team effort. It takes a lot of work, but it's possible. You can always start small, like doing meetup groups and meeting in person and doing that sort of thing. That way you can have that feeling of community with other people. If not a full convention, you can just meet up with friends with similar interests. That's always nice. That's something that was very helpful for me when I was kind of learning how to socialize with people who have similar interests. Going to meetups helps a lot.
Oh yeah.
Or
At,
them.
at least when we were just like 10 or 20 people, we we can enjoy the day. So I
There
got
you
it.
go.
Thank you for your advice.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me on your stream. I hope this was helpful. It was a really, really fun experience. And I'll be sure to post the link again. That way, if anybody who follows my page, I'll link your page and then they can see and listen and enjoy international ponies. Yay!
Yay! So let's have a good night and
Thank you so much again.
bye, master.
Bye bye.
Wow, gente, estoy haciendo el ridículo cada vez más hablando en inglés con toda esta gente. Ya prácticamente estoy sudando, aunque es porque es por eso, porque comienza la primavera. En fin, para poner en contexto todo lo principal que ha salido de esta entrevista. Maestro, Seraselkie recibe recibe preguntas en su cuenta de Twitter, así que por favor vayan al link de la descripción si tienen preguntas sobre ya saben, cosplay, disfraces, todo eso en general, y pregúntale, obviamente en inglés, no cuesta nada escribir bien en español en el traductor de Google y bueno, conseguir la pregunta decía. En fin, en lo que iba la famosa la famosa cosplayer, que bueno, aparte de ser Pegasister es muy fan del anime, bien ahí. Ah, toca resaltar de nuevo que bueno, toca esta es la primera de una tanda de entrevistas que van a ser geniales. Ya tuvimos la entrevista a Seraselkie, ahora me toca a mí, entrevistado un miembro de staff llamado Sodio, que en su tiempo el Thunder. El jueves le toca a Katere-chan, quien se asegura que va a volver porque, bueno, ya saben, me dejó plantado al inicio del mes, pero ya pasó. Y por supuesto el viernes a un brony random, a un simple fan llamado Dachi. Así que, ok gente, para los nuevos, por favor suscríbanse para conocer más de estas entrevistas. If you want people who speak English, if you want, you can subscribe to make I probably will interview more people who speak English, and I made interviews to people who speak English, like Yeketu, Aurelia, Liconan, Alistair Black. Así que, so you can have this interview too, and yeah, I can talk a lot of English, but I can try as I can and make the list, to at least make the basic about the bronies. En fin, ahora sí, no molesto más. Por favor, gente, pásenla bien. Tengan buena noche, fuerza con lo que queda de la semana. Por aquí ya vamos a comenzar la primavera. Quizás nos quitemos un problema de ambiente, así que ok. Y por supuesto tengo que destacar a Andrew Hager y a True Blue, quienes who were really good fans of Seraselkie and made a lot of comments. That was something very good about that. En fin, sin más me despido. Se despide Messenger de Benefritos y Latinos. Saludos para Gabriel 360 DDM. Hasta la próxima, gente. Tengan buenas noches.
Hola, soy Luz y les doy la bienvenida a Pony Latino. Aquí podrás hacer muchos amigos. ¡Diviértanse!